Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Full-Time Sports Network Cop Talk. It's all about Cop Talk. Yes.
Full-Time Network. Ooh.
Yes, man. I must say, it's nice to be back. But Stoney done a stellar job last week.
No. Listen, I'm just tuning in.
I'm to take my position, Stoney.
I understand my position in Cop Talk, and whilst you were unavailable, and we have to respect that place, it was just about filling in for you, sir. So don't worry, man. I was just there holding the fort until you return. It's all good, man.
He sounds like one of them chairmen who give them the vote of confidence, isn't it? And then next week you hear the man get sacked. You know what I mean?
I'm on some Frank Lampard business, man.
Good evening, sir. How you doing anyway, Stoney?
I'm good. I'm really good. Just really looking forward to this evening's show. I know we've played Crystal Palace and Wolves, and we've got Manchester United coming up in the next game. So yeah, just really looking forward to this evening's show. Okay.
Good evening, President. How we doing, sir?
Good evening. I'm just admiring Stoney. He could be a politician, couldn't
he? Yeah.
Listen, listen, Preds, you might change your mind. I know Boris has been trending today. I don't want to be the Black Boris. So be careful what's going to happen on this evening's show. All right?
Okay.
Well, that's not going to happen because you ain't got the fizzy throw for it.
Innit? Jeez. All right, gentlemen. Well, yes. We'll kick off with the Palace game, first and foremost. So, how did you see that game, Prince? How did you see it? The Palace
game. Well, it wasn't a great match. I was always on my toe.
You're being very nice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I am being very nice in regards to we didn't perform very well. I think if we would have been out there till now, up into the Wolves game, we still wouldn't have scored. I was just scratching my head in regards to the performance, and I was always kind of on the edge of my seat, thinking, right, Palace is only one counter attack away from punishing us all the time. Just didn't look settled, but yeah, it wasn't great. But we got the point, and ultimately we're going for the top four, so we need to get the points. We didn't lose, so I'm taking that positive.
How did you see that game, Stoney?
Do you know, what I always love about this show is the rationale of Preds and yourself, and I know Tabrice is one in here, KV and Bingy as well. So we had Reece Williams back on our bench, okay, for this game. We had Curtis Jones back on our bench for this game. We went down to South London, and anybody knows that tunes in to the show, if you're from London, you know South London don't hold their talk. They usually the smoke. So we traveled all the way from Merseyside to go down to South London. We had Matip. I don't even really know what Matip was on. I think between Matip and Keita, we obviously had Milner playing as well. I think they were on the Buffalo Trace. They were on some straight malt whiskey for this game when we traveled down to South London, and it wasn't even snowing. So the fact that we went down there when you got a draw, I was a little bit disheartened. And even if you think of it, right, Patrick Vieira has had a good setup with Crystal Palace. I like Eze. I like Elise. I actually like the Corey, the way that he's actually got them set up. I like, is it what's their captain that used to play for Chelsea? The centre back. God, is it? I can't remember his name. Gahey? I'm going to pronounce his name incorrectly.
Who?
The centre back. Who's Crystal Palace's centre back? The captain that used to play for Crystal Palace. He managed to get his
debut. You used to play for Crystal Palace. You used to play for
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Oh, God, I can't remember his name. That's going to frustrate me. Anybody in the chat, just put it in what Crystal Palace's captain that used to play for Chelsea's name is. I can't remember what. Him and Anderson playing at centre back. I think they had an easy game. Klein hasn't actually played. I'm sure this is probably the third game Klein has probably played since he left us. And he actually played like prime Maldini on the flipping right-hand side of that game as well.
Mark Guhau.
That's it, correct. And I actually like him, mind you. People may question me, but I really do actually like him as a centre back for Crystal Palace. But I said going into this game, we actually had Naby Keita actually playing the number 6 for us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was quite taken back for this.
Oh, he's frozen.
Oops.
No, the smoker's frozen. The smoker's frozen. Everyone's on the edge of their seat.
6 for us here.
Stoney.
Yeah.
You froze after you said Naby Keita playing the number 6.
All right, cool. So I was saying, I'm not too sure whether it's the first time he's actually played in that position for us. So he had Naby's played with us in the number 6. James Milner played on one side and Henderson played on the other side as well for that starting game as well. Obviously, we had Jota coming back. We had Gakpo and Salah. I actually thought it was a game where we could have sat down there and just brewed our tea in a teapot. There was nothing in that. You know, we traveled all the way from Liverpool all the way down to Crystal Palace to have a 0-0 draw. And it was a much of nothing. So I was actually quite frustrated for that. Bearing in mind, I think in a previous game, I'd mentioned if we had won that game and the Wolves game, we would actually have been in a 4th position for Champions League alongside Newcastle. So I actually think that was a wasted game playing against Crystal Palace. Wasn't happy with our performance one bit. The fact that I think that Alisson was our manager matching that game, bearing in mind Crystal Palace didn't do anything to us. I just think it was a game that we should have won. I wasn't happy, not one bit.
No, definitely
not even remotely.
I fully agree. Was not happy. And also, what I'm looking at is, I'm saying these guys are looking to you're looking to get top 4. Where is your passion, your fight, and your desire to try and show me that you're fighting to get top 4? You look like, for me, they look like they were just going through the motions.
Yeah,
there was nothing like what's the word I'm looking for? Like
no urgency.
Yeah, no, that's it. Urgency about the performance. It was just like the project, just going through the motions. It was poor. It's 2 points dropped as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
The only decent thing that came out of that was that we kept another clean sheet. That's the only decent thing for me that come out of that. You know what I mean? But for me, we should be winning them games. I don't care if it's a scrappy 1-0. I don't care. We need 3 points.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed one bit. And I know that we've had lackluster performances of late, but that was a game where we should have been looking to pick up the 3 points, bearing in mind that obviously prior to the Wolves game, we've played them 2 times. I know different cups, but that should have been a game where we should definitely have got 3 points from. But there was no urgency. It was poor, absolutely poor from that game. Well, and it's very really that I actually say that but that's just where I felt.
No, it was very, very poor, and we're lucky actually that they were that poor also.
They were poor, but they were poor, but they would look more likely
to score.
To score.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Ayew and who do they play? They played up 2 up front. They played Ayew, and I think it was Mateta.
Yeah,
actually played because Edouard didn't start, did he?
No,
I think it was Mateta that may have started.
Yeah.
So Ayew started on the right, and Mateta started on the left. I don't know. These are games, Preds. I know we haven't had a good season, but if there was any games that we probably would have looked on our fixture list to say, well, look, we have to definitely get the 3 points. That was definitely one of the games. It was a game, as I said, where you could have just brewed your tea, whether it was Tetley's Red Bush or Yorkshire tea, and something should have come from that game. But 1 point wasn't enough, or even a mint tea, you know. Or if you're from the West Indies, you understand about Cersei. That's a frustrating system. But
or merengue.
Or merengue, there you go. But yeah, I was frustrated. Very, very, very frustrated watching that game. Not good.
Why do you think that they churned out a performance like that? Were they shook? Were they like? Was it something like we're just getting over the Real Madrid result? Was it confidence? Because confidence has been quite high in the Premier League. So why? What was it?
Preds, we were poor. Palace were never ever going to offer us anything, right? So if we think we say Mitchell managed to return back to playing the left back. I actually like Mitchell, by the way.
Decent,
We're looking at
decent.
we're looking at Schlupp, we're looking at Lokonga, we're looking at the core in the middle of midfield. Are you trying to tell me that we could not get a result against Crystal Palace? I'm going down to Selhurst Park with the lineup that it actually had. They could have had the
and they had no Zaha.
The ticket booths.
So in that, they had no Zaha.
Exactly, but it was poor. That for me was a game that we should definitely have had the 3 points, and it was lackluster. It was poor. So I'm trying to think. Remove what Crystal Palace did. All right, remove what Crystal Palace did. Robbo didn't do nothing in the game. Van Dijk didn't do nothing. Matip didn't do nothing.
Keita was poor.
Keita was poor. Henderson did nothing. Milner was poor. Salah didn't do nothing. Gakpo, and I like Gakpo. I like Gakpo's development. And obviously, we've seen a return for Jota. I think Harvey Elliott came on for Keita early in the second half, didn't he? And Bobby played and Firmino came back. But come on, man.
But if you remember, like, we nearly gave a goal. We nearly gave them a goal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where the back pass from Trent was short.
Yeah.
And the lad thingy, he's done it, and Alisson's flicked it away. You got the centre half. He's had a header where he should be getting on. He should be putting on target.
He should have scored.
Yeah. You know, whether he scores on, like, I can't say like he should score. He was in a position where he should have got the ball on target. Like, no, you know what I mean? And then it was just bitty, and we actually looked shook. We looked shook of like making a mistake or being aggressive with the passing, no intensity, and it was just full of indecision from players that you shouldn't really expect that.
Yeah, poor, very, 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 very poor. As I said, we had a double game week. We had the opportunity to capitalize on other teams' performance. Obviously, Newcastle wouldn't have been playing because they were playing against Manchester United in a cup game. Yeah, as Artie said, we dropped points there. Definitely not good enough. Definitely good. And as he said, as poor as we've played for this season, that should have been a guaranteed 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, Naby Keita was an absolute. You know what? I'll bring some smoke now. Naby Keita was a disgrace.
Yeah,
it was an absolute disgrace. Like, he got a yellow card early in the game, which always doesn't help. It doesn't help whatsoever. But did you see the contrast between him getting the yellow card early doors, right, to the point where he has to be taken off?
Yeah,
Stefan got a yellow card early doors in the game against Wolverhampton. He nearly saw the whole game out.
Yeah,
I was like,
Naby,
look at yourself in the mirror, mate.
Yeah, you're right, Preds. You're right. Nice and early, you got that card. So he played the number 6 for us. I think he got it. You're right, early, probably about 20 minutes, 23 minutes or something like that. And then he had to almost play a completely different game until the end of the half. I mean, how much more opportunities can this man actually be given? All right. He's had a completely indifferent opportunity since he's been at Liverpool. Wherever his pathway moves, it moves on, right?
Well, it's moving on. There's no choice.
Yeah, I kind of understand where Klopp's coming from in terms of having to play him, and it's basically to do with personnel, right? He definitely hasn't worked out for us, but you're still being given an opportunity to actually leave with some stripes on your chest. And it's I don't know. I kind of looked at it in his, I could be completely wrong here, right? He could probably be looking at it that even though he hasn't played as much games or contributed as much as he should have done, and we purchased him for a lot of money, right? He might be looking at that he's won, even though he wasn't involved in all this, he's still got the medals. League Cup, Champions League, FA Cup, Carling Cup. He might look on his tender at Liverpool as saying he won four trophies. And we all know that's fluff. You know, and I think the thing that frustrates me about Naby, I wonder if he could have been a player that Klopp was actually thinking at some stage, you can probably build our midfield around him. You know, that box to box, energetic player. You know what I mean? But it just hasn't worked out, and it's been frustrating.
Yeah, I get that. I get it's not been. He hasn't worked out. He's been unfortunate with injuries. But in respect of where he goes from now, if he ain't signing the contract, then okay, he's going to go. He's got to put himself in the shop window.
Mm.
Yeah, we're
Himself.
not really shop window. He's going for free.
Yeah, no, but yeah, he's going for free, but he's got
Going
to
for
still
free.
put himself in the shop window because he needs
Yeah.
people. He needs people. Now, I mean, it could be. I heard whispers that he's already agreed the deal to go to a German side.
Yeah.
You know, whether that's playing a particular part in it, you could just see his body language.
Yeah.
His body language from minute one
Mm.
was just, do I really need to be here? Do I want to be here? Yeah, I don't know whether he was thinking, but his body language was awful.
Yeah.
You know, and then he got his yellow card, and I just think that whatever's happened in the past, on Tuesday's performance, he was a disgrace.
Mm.
Yeah. Just I just want him gone, man. Seriously
Mm.
now. And I remember beforehand, I was trying to stick up for him, and you know what I mean, say, nah, man, give this guy a chance and whatever. Nah, do you know what? He needs to go, man. I'd have to hold my hands up on that one and say, yeah, nah, he needs to go.
Yeah, Jurgen has to put his hands up and go, you know, I got it wrong, you know.
Yeah.
But the great thing about football is that he keeps moving on, and you know you're going to get to the end of his cycle, and then hopefully we can replace him with a player who has the quality and can produce that quality on a consistent basis.
And stay fit.
Yeah,
stay
exactly.
Fit. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to say quickly good evening to a couple of people. I do see you in the chat room. And Nick Ford, good evening, sir. I won't forget about your comment, but obviously because we was talking about the Crystal Palace game, I will get to your comment once we get onto the Wolves game. Good evening, Vinny. Nice to have you on board again, sir. And the silver one. Hey, he's here, mate. He's here. The silver one is here. Big shouts to those out to the silver one. He's the one. He does my thumbnails for me, mate. Sets me up every week.
Brilliant.
Got lots of respect.
Good
for
work.
That,
Good work. Good work.
Yeah, man. He does some quality ones. I know he takes pride in doing the ones when we lose. He comes up with some great headlines. He does. I said that.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. But yeah, nice to have you on board. He says, "Yo, my guys, I think you'll edge top 4 for what it's worth." That's what he says. That is a conversation we will be having shortly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Crystal Palace. Before we just move on from that quickly, anybody apart from Alisson had a decent game? Apart from Alisson.
No, I'm close.
I know if I ask you who was our player, both of you are going to say Alisson.
Yeah. I'm definitely clutching straws at this. I think the only Preds had kind of touched on it. The only positive thing is that we kept a clean sheet. Other than that, and Jota obviously managing to get some game time. I think he probably played, give or take, probably just over 60 minutes. I don't know what the actual minutes that he played. Other than that, I don't think there was any positives. And I'm not usually pessimistic, but I don't see any other positives from this game at all.
Okay. Preds?
Yeah, Alisson, by far. I mean, the positives is that clean sheet, we got a point, we didn't lose. Elliot done okay, done better than what Keita done.
My daughter could have done better.
It wasn't hard, but the kid came on and done all right. But like you said, the performance was substandard. It wasn't performance befitting a Liverpool football team or a Jurgen Klopp team, more than the fact. And the wonderful thing about football is that there's always another game.
Okay. All right. So we put that dire performance behind us, even though we didn't lose. It's a bonus. And we move on to Wolves, who'd previously given us a bit of a spanking. 3-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn up to Wolves. What was your feeling like going into this game then? And especially after that Crystal Palace performance, knowing that what Wolves had done to us already, what was going through your minds?
Well, I think we had a little bit more energy in that game. So Robbo didn't play, did he? I think Tsimikas played that game. Konate managed to come back. We had a little bit more youthfulness in the midfield. So yeah, you're right. So no Keita. Fabinho came back to start as a number 6, and we had Harvey Elliott and Stefan. And we also had a return for Nunez. And, in a strange thing, I know we've said it a lot of times on the show, that I'm still a firm believer that we're going to see the best of Nunes and Gakpo next season, but definitely Nunes. With him playing, I actually realized how much he contributes to our team up front as well.
I'm
Up
telling
front,
you.
yeah, I do actually realize every time I'm actually see him. So I said, I understand his goal ratio may not be what people want, but there's so much more that this young man is actually doing and contributing towards our team. So yeah, it was nice to see Nunes come back playing on the right, and he's still continuing to show his versatility where he can play centrally or on the left hand side as well. So yeah, I was happy to see Nunes. I was happy to see Harvey Elliott and Stefan in there. And as he said, Tsimikas, I think he had a nice game over on the left hand side. Credit to him, man.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
Okay. Preds.
Yeah, no, I think like again, you've already touched upon it that there's a lot more energy. The quality, maybe the first half, the quality was a little bit too slow, and it was just a little bit laboured. And to be fair, Wolverhampton Wanderers they had a few chances through our really shoddy defending. But the good thing is, like you say, Nunes ran all night, was a threat in behind all the time. You had Jota coming back with his familiar runs, these mazy little runs, going through defences. It's very unfortunate for the goal to be disallowed. I mean, that was how unlucky is that?
Yeah, I know.
But then, to be fair, we responded really, really well. Virgil got up there, lads made a save. Thiago, I'm liking him more and more. Jota, he's just one of those players. He's going to give you his all, and he will come up with a special moment, and he did as well, putting it back across for Virgil to put it in. And like we said, Tsimikas, got all credit to him. All credit to him. I liked his positioning. The way he set up the second goal was, it was textbook. Ali, I'm not going to keep bigging up Ali, but Ali, he's pinged the ball to the left-hand side. Tsimikas has cushioned the header in. Gakpo's put a nice cushioned first touch pass down.
Oh, and then lovely touch.
Oh, lovely. And the good thing about it is that Tsimikas had that composure where he's lacked it before to then pick out a pass. And no matter how it comes now, no matter where it hits you or how it comes, Salah's in the right place at the right time and to get that goal. So look, I think we're not going to paper over the cracks. It still wasn't a great performance, but we were a little bit more, had a little bit more intensity, a lot more quality, and more importantly, we scored 2 goals and kept another clean sheet.
Another clean sheet, man. We are going to say good evening to Mr. R&B. Made it. He's made it. He's made it. And Mr. James Dog. He is a United fan.
Good.
Trolling us. Trolling us, lads, in the chat. But he's here with us today. So James is here with us because we are quickly just talking about the Wolves game.
Yeah, that's fine.
We will be moving on to Man United very, very shortly. So Tabrice, what was your take on the Wolves game? You need to turn your mic on, bro.
Schoolboy error. Schoolboy error. I can't believe it. I've got my own channel.
Is this your first time on, mate?
Novice.
Oh dear. So I think I said last show that we were gonna draw or lose the game.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I remember it clear. Don't say you think, you said it.
So listen, I mean, again, it was a solid performance. Darwin looks hot. Jota looks like a good sign. Not a good signing. A new signing. Defensively, we are looking pretty decent. Clean sheet against Newcastle, Everton, and now Wolves as well,
and Crystal Palace.
And and like Palace as well. So, but yeah, I think in the first half looked a little bit cagey, but it just shows that the kind of concentration and actually focus was actually on point. And it's really important that Van Dijk and Salah actually got onto the score sheet. Our kind of main superstars, leading the charge now going into the United game, we should be full of confidence.
Okay, full of confidence. Okay. So,
before you go any further, are we being trolled, by the way?
Yes, please.
Yes.
I'm happy we are.
Yes, we are being trolled.
I'm happy we are. This is why I love this show.
I will be getting, don't worry, Mr. McDonough. We will be getting to you very. Don't worry.
Keep an eye on that one right there.
He's very persistent. I'll give him that. Don't worry. But we will be getting to him very, very shortly. So for me, this is what we miss in the Palace game. Definitely the Nunes type player who actually frightens defenders because of his pace and whatever, and his runs that he makes and whatever. So it stretches defenses, keeps them on the back foot a bit. And also the Jota, who is going to try and drive and do whatever. He's going to work hard, close you down, but he's going to try and drive at you rather than we're just standing in front of the back four and passing it square, passing it hit. But he's actually going to try and drive and make something happen. And that's how the goal came about, but it was disallowed because he decided to give me the ball and drive. But I want to ask if you lot clocked one thing in that game. Jota came into pockets time and time again in between the back four and their midfield, and he wasn't getting the ball. We just kept turning and going sideways or backwards. One time I see he was so frustrated. He was like, and he like you could give him the ball. There was nobody right behind him. Like there was like he had like 10, 15 yards, so he could have actually turned to do something. But we just refused to give him the ball.
I think because we've had such a change in personnel, especially in our midfield, since Jota's actually returned back to play. I think they're going to probably have to understand how he actually plays, what positions he actually moves in, and for us to actually get the best out of him as well. So it's timing. Listen, he's back. He's able to contribute back towards the squad, and that can only be a positive.
100%. Yeah, we definitely needed someone like him back. And I also noticed I like Gakpo. You can see he's a quality footballer, but I must say that sometimes he looks like one of those ones who doesn't want to get dirty. When he came on, he was very lethargic, wasn't closing down, wasn't running like how he was before. But you do know that if he's got the ball at his feet, he can produce some quality. Yeah. But this is something that he's going to need to incorporate in his game. He's going to need to graft. You're in the Prem now, son. You are going to need to graft as well, yeah? It's looking it's not going to cut it.
But on the other side of it is you got to remember that Gakpo came straight in. He came straight in, and I think it's always difficult to come off the bench and try and thing. But I mean,
no. Listen, so you was fresh, bro, but you weren't running. When players on the ball, you weren't running. You were doing. You know what you was doing? You're doing that. I'm making it look like I'm running, but I'm not really. That's what he was doing. So there's no excuse for that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Sometimes when he's come into a high pressured, high intensity league, he's played back-to-back games. Sometimes we're human beings, and sometimes his body that's why he's probably sub, because he just didn't have that energy. But then hopefully if he has that little bit of rest, hopefully he'll get back to have that energy on Saturday on the weekend.
Sometimes it's actually better to start a game than coming on, because you see when you can come on, it's so hard to literally catch your breath, and then it looks like you're kind of walking around, but it's just trying to take on the pace of the Premiership. So
taking the pace of the game.
Right. Listen, it's a fact. You know what? Coming into a game, sometimes it's very hard to try and catch the pace of the game. There wasn't no pace to the game.
No, it's true.
That game was coasting. There wasn't no pace to that game. So you can't, you know what I mean? It's not like, the cut and thrust games that it's end to end. It wasn't like that. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for me. Okay, Mr. McDonough. He's got quite a lot to say.
Hey, I think we've done well. We've got a troll. We've done well.
James, is he a mate of yours?
We're followers of Tabriz.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
There we go.
All right. So, well, just before we get there, I will do it in order. So, Nick Ford, he did say, "What did you all think of Nunes' performance last night?"
Brilliant.
Okay. Stoney?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Listen, as Tabrice and Preds have actually said, he hasn't had a real preseason with us. I think we've mentioned in the show previously when we've purchased. I'm just giving an example. When we just purchased Bobby, and when we purchased Robbo, they actually had a time to actually bed into the squad. Nunes and Gapco haven't had that opportunity. They've been thrust in, and they've been required to actually grind out performances. So I've got no concerns. These are long-term investments for us. So if that doesn't materialize this season, it's one of those things. It's a work in progress. I've got no concerns there. Absolutely none at all.
So,
None.
what did you make of his performance?
Again, we are now seeing what Klopp and what Liverpool saw in this beast of a human being. I think also as well, we have to remember Darwin has 12 goals, Richarlison has 0. And Richarlison has been in the league for how many seasons? So like, we have to be looking at things, over like Premiership strikers.
Yeah.
Gabriel Jesus
couldn't score against Grimsby.
I don't know how many goals he's got, but again, he's like now beginning to it's his first season getting double figures. That is really, really impressive.
Yeah, Tabrice is right as well, and as he said, look, he's a 1 in 3. He's already shown that he could either play when we play the 3 up front. He could either play the focal point centrally. He can play over in the left. That's going to work to our advantage as well. So, Mr. Madonna, I can see you have your comments, and that's fine. That's valid. But listen, he's a 1 in 3 striker. He's bedding himself in, and that's fine. How many goals does Weghorst have?
Thank you very much.
So in the chat, Mr. Madonna, put in, regardless of the fee, just say how many. And bearing in mind, Weghorst has already played in the Premiership before, right? So just put up his stats for us, this, sir.
Yeah. Hey, go on, mate.
I was just going to say, I didn't say that.
No, not you, James. I said Mr. Madonna, Mr. John Stephen Madonna. Just put up Weghorst's stats for us, please. And then, we can have a conversation.
Please and thanks, yeah. So he's going on to say that Nunes is garbage. Striker costing that money, and only playing decent. Come on, that ain't on.
It's a hard one as well because I know we're all in here. We all support our clubs. Regardless of whether it's Liverpool or Manchester United or XYZ, players do not negotiate their fees. So whether someone comes in for £2 million or £800 million, it is what it is. They're there for a project, and I'm confident that Nunes is going to come good for us. He's not a Haaland, so what? Haaland's like a freak of nature, but he's still going to come good, and he's going to be able to play effectively for our club.
I love the point. I love the fact that people are doubting Nunes and doubting the women. You know what? I'd rather keep a dignified silence and let the lads' performances just speak for themselves, because he's bringing that energy that you can see that us supporters have already got this affiliation with him in regards to his work rate, and it's something similar to how it was with Luis Suarez. We had this. We kind of loved him straight away, and Nunes is kind of the same way. The difference is Nunes is 23.
Yeah.
He's got so much.
Side, man.
Yeah, he's got so much to come. He's got so much to come, and whether people like Klopp or not, the proof is in the pudding that Klopp does improve players.
100%. So he says, Mr. McDonough says that don't even give me this Liverpool are back garbage. I didn't hear nobody say that, so I don't know where he got that one from, because nobody ever said that.
It's all these mind games for us.
The most we said is we've had a run
living rent free. Trust me, we are living rent free.
Isn't it? Rent free in this guy's head.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. I love it. Honestly, can't wait for United versus Liverpool. We're going to absolutely dominate. We will show you men versus boys.
Hopefully so. As he said,
James is rubbing his chin there.
History is never ever a guarantee for the future, and we've all seen that, right? We've obviously seen the dominance, and I'm only mentioning this because we have a guest to this show as well. We've obviously seen the dominance of Manchester United for over a period of years. They filtered out, and they're attempting to get back to the level that they would love to. We've obviously seen Liverpool run the 70s and 80s. We had a little bit of flutter. And then we've had 7 years of good fortune in terms of building, all right? So as he said, history never ever predicts the future. But if we're talking about Man United actually completely dominating the game against us on Saturday, when was the last time Man United beating us at Anfield? I'm sure it was like 2015 or something like that. Do your own research. Jump on, tell us. 2015, the last time you beat us at Anfield. I think so. Yeah. Someone jump on that and try to correct me, please. Do. All right. Please do.
Hold on. James, do you know?
No, I wasn't actually going to say that. I was actually going to say, do you know how Hughes was going into the game versus us earlier in the season when we done Hughes 3-1, right?
Yeah.
2-1.
Oh, sorry, we done Arsenal 3-1. Sorry, we done Hughes.
Yeah.
So I'm going into the game looking like that as if it was reversed because, like, you was the better team at the time and we ended up beating yous.
Yeah.
As it's like we're on this streak at the moment, but I don't really want to come to Anfield and play yous because I don't want to jeopardize our streak. And I got a feeling if Liverpool has got to come back, no matter what anyone say, they have got to make that comeback. And I don't want it to be against us.
You know what, James? I hope it is. You know what, James? That's a really good comment, and I'm really, really, really glad you actually raised that. If we look at the transition that Liverpool's had, all right. So last season, supposedly we were in the running for 4 cups, all right. We managed to win 2, but I would say from April onwards, there was a decline in our squad. I don't think we had a really good pre-season. And I also believe that the start to this new season wasn't very good. So I think you guys probably played us about 22nd of August or something like that, all right? Rightly so, you guys beat us 2-1. And you guys have obviously improved since then. You're coming to Anfield. The pressure's on you guys, The pressure is on Manchester United. It's as simple as that. It's on you guys.
It is. Facts.
I think it's nicely balanced in regards to the 2 teams coming in with the form that we're in, and obviously Man United, congratulations being League Cup winners. They're going to be on a high as well, so it's going to be such a great encounter, and I really hope that the game lives up to its billing because it could potentially be one hell of a humdinger.
Bro,
I think it will. I think it's going to be a very exciting game. I think the 2 teams will go at it. I think it will be an exciting game, and especially if Jurgen decides to play Jota, Nunes, and Salah up top.
I hope he plays Bobby.
That covers the whole bench for me.
I just want Bobby to play, man. I just want to see Bobby up against Martinez, and I am not belittling Martinez. Absolutely not. By the way, right? I think he's been a really good addition to Manchester United, and I think it hurts me to say it, but I'm glad he's actually coming in good because I think there were a lot of pundits, people in his country that was questioning because he didn't have a certain height level that he couldn't actually hack it in the Premiership, and he's actually made all of those people absolutely shut their mouth. So I just hope that he has an absolute ricket against us on Sunday, but he's absolutely a good defender.
No, he is. He is a good defender.
Yeah, he is.
Very
Definitely
good
is.
defender, man. Trust me.
You don't win the World Cup being poor, do you? So
He's very good.
What does he say? Comparing him to a dead Everton striker, typical Liverpool.
Who's the Everton striker?
I don't know.
Weghorst.
I thought Madonna scored. I thought Madonna scored. Supported Manchester United. I thought I was the impression.
He's a United fan, so I don't know. He's talking about Everton striker.
Okay.
I don't know. Liverpool, in my opinion, need a centre back, a new CDM, and new centre midfield. Honest thoughts.
And
you know what? He's stoking up the fire. I'm sorry, James. James, you come on the wrong week, bruv, because this guy is just stoking up the fire. And there's only one way, the one person I can take it out on. It's like, listen, I'm telling you, this geezer is not.
But anyway, I want to see Prince get ruffled, you know.
It's true. We need more than that.
Yeah, we know Weghorst. Stoney said that. He said when he said that, he said, forget the price.
Yeah.
He said, we're talking about goals ratio. All right.
Hey, you need to give this guy some voicemail out here.
I don't care if he's on loan for 6 months or what. Is he scoring goals?
Yeah, exactly. You're a striker. Strike.
Is he scoring goals?
At the moment, Weghorst, at the moment, he's a striker, so strike. He's played 6 games. Oh, here we go. And he has more goals. I tell you what.
Goals involvements.
Watch this. Please. I'm saying, remember, bearing in mind, my team is Liverpool. I'm just putting it out there, okay? While we're on the show, John Stephen Madonna, do your research, okay? He has more goal involvements than he doesn't, you know. In his senior Premiership, he's played 6 games, 0 goals and 1 assist. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there, right? I'm just putting it out there. Weghorst, 6 games, 0 goals, 1 assist. I'm just putting it out there.
Okay.
Just putting it out there.
Okay. But you know what? I am going to say one thing. I'm going to make this statement. Don't hate me for it, though. Ten Hag was very, very smart in bringing in Weghorst. I'm not going to lie. It's a very shrewd move. It's simply because United didn't have a natural number 9 who they could rely on. And by bringing in Weghorst, that's allowed Rashford and the others to do what they need to do because Weghorst is taking up the time of the central defenders.
But you know what? Also, and I agree with you, I agree with you. But
anybody who watches football can see. If you watched it properly, then you can see the technicals about football. Yeah. Now you can see why.
But also, they have a good move about Ten Hag on that acquisition as well, in terms of the way that Manchester United was set up. Even though, if Man United played a 4-2-3-1, Weghorst is not usually the vocal point as the number 10, as the number 9. He'll drop in as the number 10, and then Rashford will play as a vocal point. So even though the setup, people think Weghorst is going to be up there, he's actually dropped back. So I 100% I agree with you on that. 100%.
Listen, I'll tell you what I tell you now, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'm fearing Rashford.
Yeah, of course.
Like, listen, don't fear Rashford. Rashford's still feeding children. Don't worry about that. Don't be fearing Rashford. He's got other things in his training. He got about 500 million children to feed. Don't worry about that. He ain't doing nothing. He's on Ready Breck. He's on Pop Tarts. Don't worry about that.
Cocoa Pops.
I'm telling you.
What do you mean? Nah, listen. Rashford right now this season,
on fire.
It's a different animal. Do you remember at last season that people were talking about getting rid of him?
Yeah.
James, people, Man United fans and that were talking about getting rid.
Bro, I've always loved Rashford, man. I've always said he needs a full season of pre-season. He needs like a full training. He needs everything just to be that on point of where he should be. And he was never the main guy there. He was never there was always someone overshadowing him. Yeah. And I think now's his time to really say, listen, this number 10 shirt's mine. Like, do you know what I mean? So adds up to him. But yeah, last season people was slating him left, right, centre.
Do you think, James, that he should be actually playing down the middle, or should he be coming in from the left?
I like him in from the left, personally, but the way that Ten Hag's got it going on, I love it, because Bruno's off to the right sometimes, and then he's back into the centre. Weghorst is into the middle, and then Rashford slipping in. Like, you know, it's just so it's like a jigsaw puzzle the way he's done it, and it's sick. It's like a never-ending jigsaw puzzle.
He does seem to be he looks very, very fit, very lean, and he's playing, as you said, James. He's playing with a lot of confidence as well. You know, look, all jokes aside, and all you know, tribalism and stuff like that. It's nice to actually see him playing freely as well. Yeah. But you're right. He is a threat. What is he? I don't know how old is he. I think he's about 25 or something like that.
24.
24, 25.
Yeah,
so 24, for him, he's had a good season. I think he's hit like 14 league goals this season or something like that. And there's variations of goals as well, I think, from him. That's probably, and it's probably nice. He's a homegrown, and he's probably taken on that opportunity to be the main man, even though Bruno's your captain. But I think he relishes actually being the main man up top as well, and that doesn't seem to actually weigh him down.
Tabriz, how do you see Rashford, Tabriz?
I don't want to get carried away. I've like spoken about this before. Jamie Vardy went on a similar run, and no one really spoke about him as like being the best striker in Europe or the best striker in the world. Rashford's gone on a similar run, and people are, ranting and raving about him. Every player, especially in those positions, have a rich vein of form. It's going to be very interesting to see when those goals dry up and literally how he and literally his like mentality next season and the season after. Am I fearful of like Rashford? Yes, but I wouldn't put him in the category as as like one of like the best strikers in Europe. Not at all.
That's pundits and media doing that right now. Talk about that because they keep matching him up and saying that he's right now he's a lot more, what do you call it then, like even Mbappe and them kind of people. That's what they're talking up. So they're talking him up at the moment. They've been doing that for the last few weeks. That his levels of his goal ratio is above theirs basically.
Well, I mean, to be fair to him, and again, it just shows the character of the man when he was having that government and initiative about feeding kids and feeding families. I'm sure pundits were like saying he like should be focusing on his football. He should be focusing on training, and literally now he's kind of hitting a rich vein of form. He's the best striker in Europe, and what a great man he is helping the country. So, I can literally imagine Rashford, I can't even imagine Rashford even reading or even watching what like the pundits are saying. Like he's just so focused on what he has to do for United, and that's something I've got to give him credit for.
Definitely. Okay, Stoney, how do you see this matchup going? Because people are going to talk about it. Rashford and Trent.
Listen, no brainer. If Rashford feels that he's going to pull over to Brent, then so be it. Trent will just flush his locks and not Rashford down at Anfield. I've got Manchester United. I am going to be watching that game with two Manchester United supporters. Yeah, that's how confident I am that we're going to get the victory.
Brave man, you're a brave man, mate.
Yeah, I listen. I'm saying that. I'm putting it out there. I'm going to be watching that game with two Manchester United supporters, and we're coming away with a victory. And you know what? The thing is, right? In all jokes aside, all right. Regardless of what the outcome from that, Manchester United will still remain in the position that they are for, within the top four, trying to make sure they remain in the Champions League, and Liverpool will remain in a position for trying to get in the top four for the Champions League as well. Our game against Manchester United is not our league position is not based on this one game against Manchester United. Tribalism, yes, we want to beat them. It's clear that Manchester United's current way in which they're playing is a complete contrast to Liverpool. None of us are stupid. We all watch football. So let's not, try and be fabricated about anything. Do I want us to win? Yes. Do I believe that it's going to be an entertaining game? Yes. But the result is not going to define Manchester United season or define Liverpool season. That's just the way I feel about it anyway.
James, how do you see Rashford and Trent?
It's going to be a good competition. I slightly disagree with that. If Man United lose, it's not going to define their season. I think it will. So I think we're not aiming for top four. I think as much as everyone's saying we're just aiming for
pushing for the league.
He's going for the title.
Okay.
I believe he's going for the Premier League title, and all he's waiting for is Man City and Arsenal just to slip, and then he's pouncing on it. So I do believe we are going in for the win. We won't go in for anything less. if Rashford turns up, I mean, he hasn't scored in that, like obviously like the previous games and stuff, but he's been a threat. He's been there. He can make a nuisance of himself. I can see it being a 3-2 game.
To Liverpool. Thank you, James. That's quite
No,
noble of you.
Never did. You know what? I will say, like an own goal being scored, and it's going to be an important own goal.
Thank God Jamie Carragher ain't playing no more.
Oh, mate.
That much, mate. Mr. B says pressure on who? Definitely not United, and he's saying that because we're at home.
No pressure on us, not at all.
And been playing shit. Okay, mate. All right. Mr. Thought of the Day, nice to have you on board, sir. It says, good evening, fellas. Love tuning into the show. You're all growing as a show and a group. The chemistry is becoming wicked. Thank you very much, Mr. Lictor.
Thank you.
Love that. Bobby against the Butcher. Don't make us all laugh.
And all I'm saying is, listen, I'm sure, what's his name? I'm sure Bobby's probably a vegan. He ain't into the meat business. So you see that Butcher? Bobby ain't on that. He don't need that. He's just plant-based. That's what Martinez is gonna get when he comes to.
Where does he come up with these things?
I'm telling you, man.
Mr. B saying Bobby Davro, you must mean about familiar. All right. It's great to see all the young English players doing well. Bellingham, Rice, Rashi, Sancho, etc.
Can I just pause if you don't mind? If
Wow.
it's okay, I do apologize.
Bruce, the next one's for you.
James, I think one of the things in terms of Ten Hag, in terms of his management at Manchester United, it was just a query to you, by the way, right?
Yeah.
About the way he's obviously managed the situation with Sancho. We don't know what's happened in his private life or what's happened off the field, but I think the way that he's probably managed that situation, I think should possibly be quite commended as well. How do you think that he's managed that situation with Sancho, bearing in mind that his performances were not what they were with Dortmund?
We got a troll.
That
troll.
The amount of money that they paid
we got a troll.
The amount of money that they paid for Sancho at Dortmund hasn't really been replicated. So how do you think that Ten Hag has managed that position with Sancho?
I think he sounded very professional in the sense. I feel like it's hard to come from one league to another. Obviously, like you said, no one knows what really goes on in anyone's personal life. So, it's proven hard coming from a different league and settling in straight away. It's going to be difficult, but I think he's slowly getting he's got the best out of everyone so far. So I can't put it past him that he won't get the best out of him. I think he will. It's just a matter of when, really.
And time's on his hands as well, isn't it? Because he's still a young player, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
Good evening, Mr. B. But you can put that one to Brees yourself now. That comment, yeah, about comparing.
But it's true. It's both of them had a similar goal record, but no one spoke about Vardy. But people are talking about Rashford. That's all I'm saying. I didn't.
Listen to Brees. Don't hold it back. Listen, Rashford's stats can't touch Vardy's stats. First and foremost,
what? I don't want to. I came on the show to be respectful. I come on the show to be respectful.
How can you be respectful
I'm not. Listen, you see this shirt? The people who are wearing this shirt it's going to shit all over Anfield on Sunday. To Breeze, my brother, I've been watching you lot for the last couple of weeks. I was watching the stream when you were on the screen like this. For 4.5 minutes, you didn't talk. You didn't talk. They tried to talk to you. You came on the show, and you were just there. So to Breeze, my friend, my colleague, you have no chance on Sunday.
No chance.
You've got no chance. You've got You've got no chance. Your midfield is dead. Your midfield is dead.
And you got Fred.
Granted. You've come back to a level of form, beating the teams that you've beaten just recently. But let's be honest, Henderson finished. Keita, Fred's playing better than Keita at the moment, and that's saying a lot. Yeah. Fabinho is done. You've got your forwards coming back. Granted, you've got your forwards coming back, but if you've got nobody in the middle to feed them, you're done. And our strength at the moment is our centre of midfield. We've got Casemiro, game changer.
Yeah, but to be fair,
hold on, I haven't finished. Yeah. Casemiro, yeah. Fred, listen, I don't understand how Fred is getting into the football team, so I'm not going to come on your channel and defend Fred because I can't do it. But Ten Hag is getting a tune out of Fred in the position that he's actually playing in. The man's coming on to games and scoring. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what Ten Hag's doing. I don't know what he's put in his breakfast, but Fred at the moment is playing on a level that I didn't expect him to be playing. Can he be replaced? Yes, I want Sabitzer to be playing instead of him. I'll be honest. But at the moment, the way that Ten Hag is, players have to earn his trust. And Fred has earned his trust. So until he makes a mistake, I think he's going to be in there. And I think our central midfield, whereas for the last maybe 4 years, our midfield's been a laughing stock because we've had McTominay and Fred playing and expecting to dominate games, you know. So now we've got players who actually hold on to the ball and want to keep possession. I think it's going to be a completely different game. I mean, pre-season we played you didn't beat us.
But no problem.
Listen. Nothing. Yeah, and that's what pre-season means nothing. So this is what you lot said. The league came. I wasn't confident in the league game against Liverpool, I'll be honest. But since then, we've kicked on. We're now at a level where I'm not saying we're not going to get beaten because that's ridiculous, but I don't think Liverpool have enough in this squad this season to beat us at Anfield. I know we haven't beaten them in
2015.
It's been a long time. We've taken some licks at Anfield, but I do believe that this game the worm will turn.
I will be honest.
I was going to say something.
There is a slight doubt in my mind that it's just there. Like it's just like a ticking thing. It's like Liverpool might do it. Like I don't want it to be true, but it's just there. Like Liverpool.
Why are you holding up that cup, bro?
You're drinking Horlicks.
Oh, sorry.
That cup, bro.
Sorry, I'm just having a drink. Sorry.
Yeah. You're drinking out the Vardy cup.
I'm drinking out the Vardy cup, blood. I'm drinking out the Vardy cup.
I bet that tastes good out of that, no?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Preds, what was you going to say to Mr. B's comment?
I was going to say he was talking about our midfield threading our forwards in. Our midfielders weren't like that. Our goals weren't generated through our midfield. Our goals were generated from wide and from our forwards. So our midfield, granted, is not at the races at the moment. We were never relying on our midfield. So in regards to so we've got Henderson who's coming back, and look, I love Henderson, and it's a Man United game. He's going to be up for it regardless. I'm really looking forward to the matchup between Fabinho and Casemiro, right? Because I've got to be honest, all right. Fabinho has got one. He's like Casemiro's got one on them, especially from the Champions League game last season. Fabinho has to step up, and if he steps up, that's going to be a hell of a battle in the midfield between Casemiro and Fabinho. He played
much better against Wolves, though.
Yeah, he did, and
in the form of breaking up play, like what he used to do. He was back to doing that for me.
Yeah,
we have missed that,
and we've missed that. But like my reply to that was, ultimately our midfield's not been the best, but we haven't relied on our midfield. Our attacks have come from width, coming from our fullbacks, coming from defending from a front with our forwards, and our midfield was more or less the engine room. So for me, the midfield battle is going to be really, really, really important on Sunday.
Okay.
Massive.
Okay, so with you said you play from the front, you press from the front. do you think that that's changed with the new acquisitions that you've got? And obviously, Mane, I thought he led your press. Obviously, I think that you have missed him, but I don't think your players, the players that you have in, obviously Salah, he's still the guy. I'm not taking no smoke away from Salah. He's still the guy. He's the one that I would fear more than anybody else. Has your forwards changed the way that they press? Because you lot used to win the ball high up. I don't see you lot doing that this season. Is that an energy thing or is that a clock formation thing?
No, listen. Remember, tactically we've changed. All right. So just being what you were saying, Mr. B. All right. So whereas before we probably would have had Salah and Mane pressing and Bobby dropping in. Artie's going to laugh as the ambush, dropping in as the other midfielder. Right? It has marginally changed. So even if you think of it now, all right, over on the left side of the forward, and these are completely different players. However, they're still able to carry out that tactical approach that I believe that Klopp has asked them to do. Darwin Núñez is still able to carry out tactically that same pressing acquisition that he's asked to do on the left-hand side. All right. Salah's still able to do it on the right. I believe what has probably changed is obviously Bobby really hasn't played this season. So we've got the change in how Bobby's playing. Jota is now only coming back to playing. And then Gakpo plays that central position completely different. So whereas before,
doesn't have the energy.
No. I don't. It's got nothing to do with it. My opinion is I don't think it's got to do with the energy levels. This is it, right? Whereas before, Firmino or when Jota played would drop more centrally. Whoever played would drop back towards the midfield. Whether it's Gakpo or Darwin Núñez, their role is now to get in behind the defense, whereas dropping into the midfield. So therefore, we have a less player in midfield. And that's, to me, what I think the difference is. Also, before we had a high tempo in midfield, whether it's Elliot, whether it's Carvalho, whether it's Keita, whether it's Thiago that plays in there. No, I'm just saying as an example, the way that they play midfield is completely different than it would have been when it was Henderson, Gini, and Fabinho. It's a completely different way that we're playing at the moment. Completely different. So it's not just about the forward press. We're actually completely playing different. Completely. And also as well, and another thing as well, Preds was saying about, and rightly so, about our attacking play coming from wide positions. Robbo hasn't really had a really good season this season, you know. So whereas before, remember, there was a partnership between Trent and Robbo. They would push up at different times. They would cross and interchange. That actually hasn't happened this season. And a lot of it has been to do with the indifferent formation of Robbo. Tsimikas plays completely different than Henderson. Than Robbo. So that also is going to have an impact in how we're playing.
I'll tell you what I haven't. I know one thing that have a massive impact on Sunday, and that will be the tactics that will be deployed by each manager. For me, at the moment, I think Ten Hag has done better than Klopp has this season in regards to tactics and game management. And I think that's going to be another massive matchup on Sunday. It's like which manager is going to play the right tactics at the right time, in the right moment within the game for the players to then respond. And that's going to be huge.
So, Breeze, so on Sunday, Robbo's been out of form. Do you play Tsimikas or Robbo?
You play Tsimikas. You actually play the back four or the back five that kept the clean sheet against Wolves. I can believe as a kind of back four, you need a settled squad. You can laugh, but again, Tsimikas set up Salah's goal. Yes, exactly what Stoney said. Like, we have now totally changed, how we play. And yeah, like Robbo has not been on form, but you still play the players who are in form who have kind of kept clean sheets, and don't forget we're at Anfield as well. So
Mr. B, why are you kidding T?
Because just because I'm thinking he's gonna play Shimikas against Anthony.
So what's Anthony done? All he's got is a tattoo.
No, it's fine.
You're talking like he's prime Brazilian, brother.
He's
nothing. Tell me what Anthony's done this season, Mr. B. Please, I beg you.
Hey, listen, don't let him get your head.
Wind it up. Anthony ain't gonna do nothing. Absolutely
mind game.
Mr.
B, come on,
Brazilian. Brother ain't gonna do nothing.
Mr. B, come on the channel, come on the show with you, Alex Ferguson. Good. Mind games.
I'm glad. Do you know, Mr. B? If you don't mind me asking you this question, before you came on, James was able to articulate a response to a question I actually asked him as well, right? And the main thing that I asked was this game between Manchester United. Obviously, it's not league defining. You guys in the position is obviously fourth. You're chasing Arsenal and Man City in a review to possibly being in a position to win the league. How do you see this game going and the game afterwards? So if you guys lose, what impact do you think that's going to have on you guys moving forward?
Okay. I said a month and a half ago that I think we've got a chance to win the league, and everybody laughed at me on the channel, said you're mad. So I've kept it to myself. But I think that we need to keep momentum up, so we need to win the game. Even if we win the game, until Arsenal, because I think we can catch Man City, until Arsenal slip up, then we're not in the conversation. We may well be on form, be in a title race, but until you're 3 points behind, I don't see us being in a race. Arsenal, they're 8 points ahead of us. It could be 11. So we're not in a race with Arsenal. Beginning of the season, I thought we were going to finish 7th. I'll be really honest. I thought we were going to finish 7th. I can't believe what he's done for us as a club. But I do believe that we've got a chance. We've got a chance in the league. We do, because he goes out there. The game that we just played was the only game where I feared our lineup, because it looks like he tried to take the piss. He played Maguire, he played McTominay, he played Lindelof. So as a Man United fan, I'm thinking, fuck, we've got no chance, because I've seen these fuckers play. Sorry, I've seen them play. So you know what I mean. But now I just feel that, and they've had rests. We rested Rashford in the game. Regardless of what you think of Rashford, I hear man saying that he's a Vardy. Absolutely fine. He's our Vardy, so I'll take him in it. I'll take him. I'll take him on the form that he's on. He's not missing the target.
Okay,
that's the thing with Rashford at the moment.
Mr. McDonough says, "Ain't no chance Liverpool are taking United. Form-wise, stat-wise, it all points to United to win, and that's what will happen. 100%." Nick Ford says, "Let's all be honest. Ten Hag took over the second most expensive squad in the world and spent another 220 million. Oh my gosh, how are they hating on Anthony?"
you know what? I'm glad at that. It ain't. These are just facts. Really? I'm like Rafa Benitez.
We love having you on too, bro. We love having you on too.
Yeah, these are just facts. It's not about hate. These are just facts about Anthony. He's come to Man United with a big tattoo and on his neck. And ain't done nothing.
Let Richarlison get in front of the
it's
Listen, Mr. B, don't try. All he does is dribble and run around. He does no end product in the last third. Don't try.
I'm not saying a word. I will leave the haters to hate. As a Man United fan, I see what Anthony does, and I've seen what he did when we did. No problem. He can do his pirouette. He can even twerk at the end of it. I have no problem. Anthony starts, and if what's his name? Skimmercast starts, there's going to be carnage. I'm telling you that straight. There's going to be carnage, because you're going to have two defenders. Konate, you're going to have probably Konate and Van Dijk. Yeah. Virgil, to be fair, Virgil's coming back into form. You really needed that. Konate hasn't been playing, so he hasn't been blamed for the mess.
He's still Silk.
Trent is still Trent. I still believe that if he sits deep, if he sits in his position, Rashford's going to kill him. And if he doesn't, and he decides that he's going to go walkabout, then there's nobody to hold Rashford. So I think that the two players who you feel aren't going to be the danger men, Rashford and Anthony, are going to be the danger men. I did hear you talking about Weghorst, and he.
Don't try it. Don't.
No, listen.
That's one thing I'm not going to have.
He's a system player.
What do you mean a system? You buy a striker to strike?
You see. Okay, then. So
do you buy a striker to strike?
So when Firmino wasn't scoring no goals, and all I'm hearing,
he was assisting.
He was assisting, and he was. How much games has he played?
He's played 6 and he's got 0 goals and 1 assist.
Where did we get it from, and how much did we?
It doesn't matter. He's still a striker. He's there to strike.
He is a system player. At the moment, he's playing as a switch. Our first choice is what,
and he doesn't score and he doesn't assist.
You know what?
He may as well be Steve McLaren.
If we're still winning, you see, you was talking about that extra player dropping into midfield. This is the problem that Liverpool have got at the moment. It's fine. He's got. It's no problem. It's no problem. But he's still doing a job. He is still doing that job, the specific job that he's been brought into the club to do. He can play up top. We start him up top. No problem. He doesn't. You know what we do? We then drop him into a number 10 role that I didn't think he's capable of playing.
Yes, played him.
Even when I watch it, I still don't understand what he's doing in there. But he doesn't stop running. If you look at his pressing stat, that's what I'm saying. It's
even as Mo Farah.
He bought that's no problem. But Mo Farah doesn't play football.
Exactly.
Mo Farah doesn't play football.
He doesn't stop running.
Yeah, that's fine. But it's where he runs to,
bro.
No. We want the team to win, and this is what I keep saying. He's bought the player to play in a system. Do you think Weghorst is going to be here in the new year? James, I'm going to ask you. Do you think Weghorst is going to be here in the new year? After the transfer window, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. I can imagine him maybe doing
hesitation.
Loan on him, maybe like another 6-month loan extension or something. But I can't imagine him buying him.
No chance. He's going to replace him with somebody better.
What, you want him to stay for another 6-month loan?
No, I can imagine Ten Hag extend. Like he's a system player, and since he's been playing for Man United, the facts are we have been smashing. He seems to be the missing link that we needed for them, like that type of player.
Weghorst is one of them players, in my eyes. He's one of them players. He turns up pre-season. He runs. He beats everybody. Everyone's like, yeah, it's a bit of a play until you get the ball at his feet.
I'm sorry, haven't you seen? So what is it, Preds? What is it that you've seen from obviously you see him as goal scoring. You don't see him with these back to goal, the link up play that he plays, linking up play in central mid. You don't see that part of his game. On Sunday, if he starts, just watch. Watch how he plays. His first touch, his layoffs into midfield, and then where we break, he will probably. Those are the parts of the game that I want you to watch. He's not going to score.
Listen, parts of his games I've seen is that he's got the ball's come into him, he's taken a touch, he's lost it, and then he's chasing back after it. That's the
how much of our games have you watched, Pregs? How much
not really, to be quite honest.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So
the one I've seen, I can go and go by what I saw, and in respect of the fair play, all the Man United players were desperate for him to score, and he couldn't do it. But what I did see, he was chasing down a lot. He was doing a lot of work as a forward. Absolutely, granted, he's working his heart out for it. But in respect to quality, I didn't see it. I didn't see it last season at Burnley either. So obviously Ten Hag must see something in him in training for him to play, and I get that. And I hear you.
Preds, as I said before, and even Mr. B just said the same thing as what I said. Like, as a system player, he's come in, and what he's done is he's allowed the others to perform their duties of what they need to do. Work around.
Yeah, I get that. He just asked me a particular question in regards to what I saw, and what I saw.
But if you're going to look at him as a striker, then his numbers are piss poor. They're abysmal.
He's a distraction.
But if you're saying as part of the team, and then like Mr. B saying he's looking at the bigger picture, United is still winning. That's what they're looking at. So
let's
Yeah,
be
but
honest.
has he been directly involved? Like, I know he's played and everything, but if we're talking about stats and we're talking about goals and we're talking about involvements in goals,
like
how much?
he's had 1 assist.
I think he's only had 1 assist.
Yeah,
Yeah, one assist.
Yeah.
So I mean,
think
if he's
he's
a
only had 1
system
assist.
player, if he's a system player, then surely he must be given a little bit. Should be given a little bit more than what he's actually given at the moment, rather than the running stats.
What he should do, and what you're expecting, and what Ten Hag wants, is totally different. You want your striker. If Martial was playing in his position, we would have scored more goals. Weghorst is he wasn't bought. I'm not saying he wasn't bought to score goals because he's a forward. That's stupid.
It's a bit like a Giroud, isn't it?
Nah,
Not
Giroud.
No.
Sorry,
Giroud scores goals. Giroud scores goals. The work rate that he's got is what Ten Hag wants. That pressing from the front, that lead. That's the part that Ten Hag wants, because he knows that we've got bullets everywhere else, and this is the problem that teams are now facing. Yeah, Rashford is scoring. He's on his 20s. He's probably going to hit 35 for the season, to be fair. But you've got Fred chipping in. I think Fred's our third highest goal scorer. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, Fred's chipping in. So we've got other players chipping in with goals. And that's where I think now we've got the advantage. Rashford doesn't score. It's no problem. Anthony's going to score. Weghorst won't score, granted. But then you've got Fred. You've got Casemiro. You know what I mean? You've got Luke Shaw delivering. We're Man United in a good place at the moment. Yes.
Mr. B, you want to take a bet on that Rashford don't get 35 goals?
35 goals is no chance.
You just said he'll get 35 goals. You want to bet on that?
What's he on at the moment?
What league goals?
I'm talking about all the whole season.
Because he's only in 14 league goals.
No, he's got about 20 goals, 21 goals or something like that in total.
I'll take that.
All right, cool. We'll do that.
I'll take that.
100%. You
hear that?
All right, cool.
If you lose, you have to wear buddy smugglers.
I ain't with nobody. This is a money bet. I ain't doing no fancy dress, bro.
Go on, Mr. B. Go on.
Mr. B, there's some nonsense in the screen behind you there, bro.
Listen, there's nothing. Listen.
There's some nonsense back there, bro.
You keep doing it, bro.
I tell you what, I give him.
I'll give Ten
Hag plaudits in regards to he's coming, and you can actually see Man United's philosophy.
We've got a style of play now.
Man United got the one thing I didn't want them to get, and that's a decent manager. No, sorry, not decent manager. They got a quality manager, and that is what was missing. Man United always had the players. They just didn't have a manager to get a tune out of them, and now they've got a manager who knows what he's doing. He's quality. And it's starting to show.
We're dangerous now.
This is what people are going to have to be wary of now.
Yeah.
If FSG decide they're saying they're not selling, then they need to invest and back Klopp, because otherwise other teams are just going to fall further and further behind.
Yeah,
have to spend that money, man.
I've got to shoot off. I've got early start in the morning. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, man. Talking to you.
Thank you, James. Thanks.
All right, man.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we go into the great week.
You're always welcome in the chat. It's always welcome, bro.
Yeah, we go on late. We can chat till late, James.
All right.
I wasn't
prepared. As James is going to leave. Okay. What's he saying?
I'll see you soon.
Trent ain't no right back.
See you later, bro.
Trent ain't no right back. He's a winger in my eyes. Weghorst, Rashi, and Anfield are going to cause madness at Anfield. Mark my words.
Wow.
You know what? I really am looking forward to the game. I've got to be honest. In regards to, like, we can all have banter and throw stats at each other and everything. This game's got a billion to be fire, and I really do hope it becomes that game. Like, everyone's going to be talking about it. I'm just really, really excited on so many different factors. It's going to be a great game.
Okay. Reece, are you looking forward to the game in a positive way?
No, listen, I mean, let's be real. You know, United are on a good vein of form, and coming coming from behind against West Ham, it shows character as well. So
please, West Ham attack.
Yeah, but
right. West Ham have done quite right in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but literally, you still got to get the job done. So again, credit where credit's due. This is probably one of, I'd say, a game that can go either way. 2-1 United, 2-1 Liverpool, 3-0 United, 3-0 Liverpool. It's a 0-0, 1-1. So it's a game that it's going to be very hard to honestly, as a neutral, to predict, because both teams are in good veins of form in the Premiership.
Okay, Mr. Stoney, are you looking forward to the game in a positive?
Of course, I'm. Liverpool are coming away with a victory. Listen, I'm calm, Believe me, I am so calm. It's unbelievable, and I'm putting it out there, Mr. B and Chopper, because I know you're tuning into the show. As I said, you are welcome to come to my home to watch a game. If you want me to come to your home, Mr. B, and shout in your house, I will do that. And
it's already been arranged.
I will.
We're already at Choppers. We're already at Choppers. I'll give you the lift. I will give you a lift home as a sympathy ride. Don't worry, bro.
Okay, Mr. Bean, on that all banter aside, are you looking forward to the game in a positive way?
Yeah, I am.
Like, all banter aside, you know what? Yeah. You know what they say as well. Them big derby games, form goes out the window and all that. You know what I mean? So are you definitely saying, right, regardless, all the banter, yeah, we're going to win this game. That's it.
No, I'm not saying we're going to win the game. I'm saying we're going in there confident. I feel that if we score first, we win the game. If you lot are 1-0 up, second half of every single game that he's played, we've improved. The one thing with Ten Hag is he's decisive with his substitutions. He took off McTominay at halftime. He don't mess about. If he sees a fault, he's going to make the change. So even, see, it's mad. You lot came out like a bat out of hell against Real Madrid. You went 2-0 up, but you didn't change the way that you played. The thing with Ten Hag is if he sees a problem on the pitch, he will change it straight away. And that's what I like. He's, I don't know what, he's preemptive. That's the one, yeah. He sees things before they happen, so he gets changes made. That's what I like about him. And the fact that the squad is now, look, all right, I understand it's only the Coca-Cola Cup. It don't mean nothing, but
it does mean something.
Of course it does. Cup, bro.
No, as in, okay, you see, no disrespect to the FA Cup and it was always the league. And for Man United, for Liverpool, it was always the league and the Champions League. As a trophy, this is a starter. This is our taster. It's the first trophy that we could have won. So I think what that's done is given those players the confidence to believe that whatever sacrifices they made, whatever walls he's got them running through in pre-season and in training, it means that it works. I don't believe we're not going to go in there not confident. The thing is, we don't win at Anfield. And this is the problem that I've got. We don't win at Anfield. If we can get that result at your ground, it sends us to a whole different level confidence-wise. We're confident already, but to go to, you look always dick us. No matter what form we're in, at Anfield, you look always slap us. It would be nice. You look did the double over us last season. You scored 9 goals. 9 goals against us. We went up to bloody Old Trafford to watch the game, bruv. I wanted to jump in the river. Yeah, at half time, I walked off with a bifter, and then man said, Marvin, I thought you were going to jump in. I sat on the side, depressed, bro, depressed. Yeah, I want your fans to be like that. I want your fans to feel that pain. You understand? Because that you don't want a man walking into your house and taking your gal. That's what you did. 5 times you did it to us. You understand? So I want in my heart of hearts, I want revenge. I want revenge. Do I think we could get it? Yes. But it's Liverpool at Anfield. You know what I mean? And you lot are going to be up for, you lot think you lot want to lose. Do you lot want to lose to us? You don't want to lose to us. That's my point. You understand? So I don't want a draw. I want the win. I want the win. Will I accept the draw begrudgingly? The loss would, to be fair, the loss would shock me just because of the way that you lot have been playing.
Okay. Vinny says the happiest United fans have been since 2013. Believe. Okay. And McDonald says,
comment.
He says, can't lie, all banter aside, looking forward to this game. Hoping it's a great game that we can talk about afterwards. 100%. Yeah, I fully agree there, mate. I fully agree. Agreed. Us United fans are dying for revenge. Very true, yeah.
Play into our hands. That just plays into our hands. They're desperate to play as revenge. That just plays nicely into our hands.
I hear that. Okay, so gentlemen, before we wrap this up, as we go around, prediction scores, please. So Breeze.
Are you looking for scores or just a result?
No, I want the whole 9. Prediction scores. The whole 9. Before we wrap this up and go on.
Okay. All right.
So Breeze.
Okay. All right. If United score first, I can see them winning the game. If whoever scores first is going to win.
Ooh. Okay, I would disagree with that. I would say if United score first, we're in trouble. If we score first, from what I've seen of United, I could see a draw. They're always liable to come back.
I'm going all win, mate. We're winning, right? We're winning the game, and we're going to win. It's going to be like a 3-2. Liverpool, by the way. 3-2.
I just don't think we're going to concede 3. I don't see us conceding 3 goals.
I don't see it 3-2.
I'm looking at it in my rose-tinted glasses. Leave me alone. This is my prediction.
2-1.
Don't chuck all facts at me. Listen, I want Liverpool to win, and I think it's going to be a humdinger. All right.
All right, mate. All right, geezer. All right. Stoney.
But I think we've shown, and I know Mr. B was mentioning about something, whether we, or to Brees, I do apologise, whether we concede first or, whether it's second or whatever, we will get breached. It's as simple as that. But I'm confident that whether it's in the first minute or 90th minute, that we will actually respond. I'm going for Liverpool victory, and I'm going for a 2-1.
Okay. And Mr. B, what's your prediction?
3-1. 3-1 United. Yeah, 3-1 United. I'll be honest, I want a 0. I want a shutout, but I'll take 3-1. 3-1.
Vinny says the change in the directions of the two clubs in the last 12 months is alarming, but understandable as well. And he is going for 1-1. And Mr. McDonald's going for 2-1 United. He's saying Rashford and Casemiro on the score sheet. Okay. I'm going 2-1 in the opposite direction, by the way. Okay. Right. Salah and Jota. Get one. Gentlemen, I am actually looking forward to the game. I must say, I am looking forward to it. Because I do believe
I'm going to be nervous.
These are the games where you need to step up and be counted. And as long as Klopp picks the right starting lineup, this is what we need.
Which is sorry, what would you classify as the starting lineup?
Well, for me, I think he needs to, like he said, needs to play Tsimikas, Konate, VVD, and Trent.
So it's the same defense that played against Wolves,
defense.
Yeah.
Defense.
So you're comparing us to Wolves. Go on, okay, go on.
We'll do that. That's your level.
In the middle,
Like that.
Fabinho, Bajcetic, and Hendo need to play, and up top, we need to have Jota, Darwin, and Salah.
Yep.
Darwin left.
No, down the
Jota
middle.
top.
Down the middle.
And Jota on the left.
On the left, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But don't forget, those two are interchangeable as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, but yeah, that is the team that needs to play for me. I don't want to see Milner. I don't want to see Keita. Gakpo, if anything, needs to come on for me. Elliot doesn't need to start for me because he always plays him in the middle. He's not a central midfielder. Elliot, if Elliot plays for me, he needs to be wide wide right or that, and he's not dropping Salah. So if Elliot can come on later on, because he adds a bit of energy and whatever, fine. But no. Yeah. I like the young boy Bajcetic, man. Trust me. I like the young boy.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you on a couple of those bits there, mate. But I think that Robbo's got to play, and I think that if Nunez is going to play, he'll start on the left. I really want him to stay as far away as possible from, what do you call him, the butcher?
Yeah, Martinez.
Yeah, I want him to stay as far away as possible, and furthermore, I want him to behave himself as well, because I know Martinez is.
He's got that red flag in him, innit?
Yeah, and I don't want him nowhere near him. But I think we'll get a lot more out of him on the left. And
the thing is, the way that Nunez, the runs that he makes and the pace that he's got, he's liable to get Martinez booked. Martinez will have to foul him.
Yeah, but
you look forgetting that we got Champions League Varane as well playing. Just out of curiosity, you lot are talking about Martinez. It's a partner. It's a proper partnership. It's not 1-on-1. So as much as you're saying target Martinez, them man they cover for each other. So
no, I'm saying I don't want him anywhere near Martinez.
So you'd rather that he pulled on Varane?
I'd rather he plays on the left side in between the right back and Varane. Yes, Varane's a quality defender, but in regards to, we've just got to work with what we got. And Nunez, he's got pace, he's energetic, he runs in behind. No centre half in the world, regardless of what partnership they have, don't like people running in behind constantly. And that again is going to be a very interesting matchup, because
I agree with Preds on that. More so about him pulling over on the left and targeting Varane. And I'm not questioning Varane's
pedigree.
Pedigree, or he's excellent or anything like that. But do you know what it is?
Well, class, mate.
You've basically got Darwin Nunez, who is volatile, and Martinez, who is volatile. Those two things don't mix on a on a football pitch.
Martinez doesn't get booked.
That's why I agree with Preds. Martinez can, Darwin Nunez, he can really end up getting himself sent off. So I don't want him near Martinez, just for that. Not to say he couldn't handle the smoke, but I don't want him getting into battle, because them two are going to end up having fisticuffs.
It's that South American battle.
He's listening. Klopp spoke to him after the Fulham game, right? He's spoken to him about that, and I think he's taken that away, and he has to understand he can't be doing that crap again.
Martinez don't understand English, brother.
I'm not talking about Martinez. I'm talking about, what do you call it?
Darwin Nunez don't understand English, man.
Nunez is just head down and his thingy, man. But
I love him.
All right, Gareth is a late comer. He says Liverpool just need to keep the same team, same players, and believe a bit better. McDonald's saying Gakpo class signing, and Vinny says agree. Robbo born for this game. Please, Milner, Kaya Jones, stay away. Weakest links.
I'll tell you what. Mr. B, answer me this question. If you see the team sheet on Sunday, and you see Kaya and you see Milner on there starting, what's your thoughts, please?
Oh my God!
I'm going to jump on my Paddy Power app, and whatever bet I had, I'm going to treble. I'm going to treble. I'll be able to see the grins from here, mate. I tell you, I would love either one of them two. And if he's brave enough to play both of them, oh Lord, whatever level, Stoney, whatever feeling you thought you were gonna have, it's gonna be
my phone will be on flight mode. I'm just putting it out there from right now. Okay,
for real. Okay, do you remember, peoples? We are sponsored by Global Mapping Surveys. So you can catch them on all the W's, globalmappingsurveys.co.uk. And if you remember, if you mention Cop Talk, you will get a discount. Okay. So, peoples, we're going to say good night from Mr. Tabrice, Mr. R&B.
Good night, guys. Good night.
Good night from Preds.
Hey, good night and be safe, people. Hey, come on, Liverpool Sunday. Come on.
Yeah, I like that. Good night, Mr. Stoney.
Good night, everybody. Just want to extend before I say, Artie, thanks once again for hosting an amazing show. Tabrice, Preds, deeply appreciate that. Thanks, Mr. B and James, for tuning in this week, and everybody else for providing comments.
Thank you very much. And our special guest, one and only, what do you call it? The Man United Agendas, Mr. B.
Yo, blessed for having me on, man. You could have easily ignored that ping that came on there when I jumped on. So big up, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
It crossed my mind, bro. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, good. Bring up peoples, and we'll definitely see you back next week, Thursday, where we will be discussing the result of Sunday's game. See if Mr. B's still about them.
I will be. You know, I'm not even going to jump on halfway through. I'm going to be here like this.